Can I swear in this interview? Like, can I say like fuck and shit and stuff like this? Or does it have to be? Does it have to be PG? Yeah, I came from Leipzig. I slept like 3 hours. I was actually kind of like, yeah, I know, let's not. I was actually like thinking about doing the interview with like sunglasses on, but I can never bring myself to do that because it seems so douchey. I mean, I feel like DJing itself is, or ideally should be, a very selfless act, you know, because it's not about you. I see myself nowadays, after having DJed for a really long time, I try to go in with as little ego as possible and try to see myself as wanting to bring the best vibe to this party possible, while still instilling like some like my identity into it, like, because I do want to bring across a certain sound and a certain like vibe, but I can bring across that sound and that vibe in a multitude of genres, you know what I mean? Like, I like to keep people on their toes while still, yeah, giving them like what they want, but like I feel like it's a symbiotic thing, you know? That's why I try to not go in with a plan in mind, because I feel like that would be me imposing myself onto the crowd, you know? That would be me being like, I want you to be like this, I want you to have this kind of a party, you know? I want you, and it's like, that would be like, it's not a concert, you know? It's a party. So I feel like that's the big difference, and I feel like that's why I try to always go in with as little of an expectation or as little of a plan as possible, you know what I mean? Because I think that is how a DJ should be. It actually fell down the other day, so now it has a crack on the side.
Oh, no.
And it's genuinely worrying to me, but I hope it. I guess I hope it will be fine. Yeah, my Steam Deck, man, for real. But like, I mean, shout out to Steam, of course. This is a great thing. I always have like 3-4 games that I play at one point.
Okay,
One because I have like a fear of. I really don't like flying. So I always have one game that's like very gameplay focused that I play while we take off. So I'm distracted. This for me right now is Sifu. Have you heard of this one? It's like this like kung fu game. It's hard, tough as nails, but it's you get so, I get so into the zone when I play this. Like, I get so like tunnel vision and everything around me just like blurs. So that's very, very good for like taking off. And then the big one that I'm playing right now, and this is like such a masterpiece, is this one. It's called Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And this is, it's kind of like thrown around for like this year to be like 100% gonna become like everybody's game of the year. I mean, now the next Hollow Knight is coming out in like a week. So for me, I suspect that will be game of the year if it doesn't completely shit the bed, because like Hollow Knight is my favorite game of all time, I think, to be honest. It's this incredible like platforming game where you explore this weird ass bug world. That's beautiful. I mean, so much stuff that I do is inspired by video games. Tracks like Lute Miller or like Tall People. They have these like very like, they really play with this element of like how much can you loop a melody until it gets like grating. And that's always something that really fascinated me about video game music, because you had to make it, especially in the 16-bit era. Video game melodies had to loop because the like memory space on a cartridge was not so big, so they had to like keep the songs short. So how do you make an iconic piece of music, but you only have like maybe like 4 or 8 or 16 bars? And I think like that's so inspiring to me, and that inspired me so much over time too, to like think of like these melodies and like how they are so memorable and so catchy with so little, and like how they can build such a mood. Like actually like Metroid, so it's kind of funny because like Hollow Knight is very inspired by like the Metroid series, and like the whole Metroid series has unbelievable music. Like Metroid Prime, I remember, is like one of the video games. Like we played the shit out of Metroid Prime when it came out on the GameCube. I remember. I think you even more than me, to be honest. But like that game had unbelievable music, and also the old games also had incredibly this like really like it builds an atmosphere that you can just cut with a knife just with the music. And like so that really inspired me for my music a lot, of like building atmosphere with very simple techniques. You get taught to look towards trends a lot.
It's like you need to get on the hype trend.
Yeah, and like once you are like hype, it really like the industry really teaches you now stay on it. It's like riding this horrible wave, when it's like any good surfer will tell you that once the wave is done, you need to also like accept it and like let it wash you to the beach again. Because otherwise you're gonna get like drowned, you know? And I think like you can't stay on a wave forever. And I think that's the point where you then like have to decide what do you want to be? What is your identity? And that's so horrible, you know, if you just like follow it, like try to ride a trend wave forever, and you're gonna be left without an actual identity for yourself, you know? And that's so harsh. Like, I think that was like the moment of realization where I was like, fuck, what am I beyond a hype wave right now, you know what I mean? A good friend of mine once described this job in 5 quotation marks for added irony, as professional waiting. Because that's kind of genuinely what it is. Like 90% of the time you just wait for stuff. And then you have like 2 hours of like adrenaline peeking through the top of your skull. And then afterwards it's waiting again until you get home. And that's kind of like you wait on a plane, you wait for a plane, you wait for the artist.
It's even more difficult to wait.
You wait for the driver.
You wait for the driver, exactly. I was gonna say. And like so yeah, this is really like it not only is it incredibly lonely, but it's also just like, I mean, we're talking huge stretches of time here too, you know, just like unbelievably long. So like, yeah, I think it helps to have something to take the mind of it. I think you need something, and for a lot of people that can be reading, that's amazing, but for me, like, yeah, this does the job just better than anything else. And additionally to that, my love for video games is unending. At some point I'll open a perfume shop.
Oh really?
Yeah, like a perfumery. Because that was, funnily enough, I was thinking about packing a perfume actually, because like I have a few obsessions with things in my life, like video games. I love collecting figurines, but I think maybe my biggest like obsession in private life, where I become a hoarder and a goblin and I just cannot stop, is perfumes. I think I have like 50, 60 perfumes at home. Wow. I have a closet only for perfumes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's the reason behind it? Is it like,
there's a certain, I mean, okay, let's start at the base. I think perfumes are just amazing. I think it's such a cool thing to like, because I love fashion, right?
Yeah.
But I think perfume is like an added level to that. Not only can you dress yourself in clothing, you can dress yourself in fragrance, you know? But then there's the added level of it, that I think fragrance and perfumes can be art too. And I think should be seen as art. And fragrance can be poetry, you know? Like there have been fragrances that made me cry, there have been fragrances that made me retch. It also helps that I have an insanely like sensitive nose, like very, very sensitive. I have like I did like a test of it once, and I think like 10% of people like have this nose as sensitive as me.
Oh really?
Yeah, very, very sensitive nose. Especially now since I like quit smoking.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just fascinated by it. I think like what some people have with like wine or whatever like that, I have with perfume. So I think like the secret job that I would do if I would just like stop DJing, I think I would like try to open a perfumery and genuinely be like a little perfumery somewhere. And like I imagine people coming in and like asking me like for perfume for a specific occasion or something like that, and I could be like, yes, I have just perfume.
Ah.
My boy. Yeah.
Yes.
And my boy Hisoka. It's funny because I have 4 Hisoka figurines at home. Yes. And I was thinking about which one to bring, and I decided on this one because it's actually the most transportable. It's not my favorite. I actually kind of think Funko Pops are very boring. But a fan gave this one to me, and I really, really appreciate it. And like, thank you to that fan once again. I love this one. It's like, I think it was in the Netherlands actually, now that I think about it. I'm not sure anymore, but yeah. I really love this one. I love that Hisoka uses bungee gum in this figurine, which has both the properties of rubber and gum. And Hisoka is just, he's my psychopathic, horrible, disgusting little boy. I love him so much. And like his whole look was very inspiring to me for a very long time. I think without it actually being said, he's so queer, and he's very, very queer coded in my opinion, and I love him. He's horrible and evil and violent, and he's one of my favorite villains of all time, if not even my favorite villain of all time. I think everyone should watch Hunter x Hunter because it's still very underrated. Yep. Because I think it shows what you can do with a medium if you just like lean out the window a little bit. Yeah. And while other manga of its generation stayed very safe and very like shonen and like young audience friendly, and like had the main character win most of their fights, etc. Hunter x Hunter decided to be weird and be wild and show what this world could really be like. And Hisoka. Thank you. Yes, they got me this. This, in my opinion, is the best album of all time. I could sit here and like talk for an hour about just this album, which I will refrain from doing. I think everything we talked about today about like creative expression and artistic vision and experimentation and not standing still and keeping like having an identity while staying curious and interested in music as an actual artistic medium rather than just feeding a hype, it all finds its way into this album or from this album. I mean, you've all heard it, right? Like, okay, yeah, I think like there's a little story to this. Like, I remember hearing Demon Days, the one beforehand, and thinking like, okay, this is a masterpiece. Like, this is an album unlike any other. This is incredible. There will never be another album like this. Can't wait what Gorillaz do next. And then this came along a couple of years after. And I remember like listening to it and being like, what the fuck, this sucks. Like, this is so shit. Like, so strange and not as catchy. There aren't really any like bangers like on Demon Days. It's all this like really electronic-y, soft, weird thing. Like, not what I expected from the Gorillaz at all. And then I showed it to my dad, who loved Demon Days too, and thought it was just as good as I did. And he listened to this, and this is like this, and he just said like, this is the future of music. Like, this is like some future shit. Like, they are complete. Like, this is visionary. Like, this is something else. And I was like, what the hell? And I got it eventually. Like, I returned to it after a while, And I fully agree, like what they did here is a masterpiece. I love that, like it still sounds so much like Gorillaz, like you can hear it not just because of the voice, of course, but like the songwriting is so Gorillaz, so penultimately Gorillaz. There's no other musical project that wrote music like this, you know. I love that Damon Albarn was just like, okay, now everything is going to be synthesized, you know, like, and it's so playful, like all the writing on all the songs, it's such joyous, childlike glee and playfulness in all the songs. Like you could hear, he was really just like making shit. And I don't think you can write a fucking song like Empire Ants without just like wanting to make music. Like you can't write a song like that if you're trying to make music to survive or to get a paycheck, you know what I mean? Like you can't make a song like that if you're trying to feed the algorithm. Like a song like that can only be written from the heart. And that is true for this entire fucking album, from like front to fucking back. Of course there's stronger ones on here, there's weaker ones in here, but this is my favorite album of all time. There will probably never be another album like this, I think, like, or maybe there will be. That would be beautiful, actually. Actually, maybe there will be. But like, it's inspired me more than any other piece of music ever has. You know how like in sports that once a player like retires, the jersey like gets retired too. This is like it for me. And funnily enough, this is also another fucking anime.
Really?
Yeah, because it's from an anime. It's from Slam Dunk, which is like this basketball anime.
Yeah.
Like a really, really great one actually. And I wore that on the day. I have to think of like some good like sports clothing to wear this year.
How are you gonna top that? No, the last ADE we had like the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was like... It was kind of like nothing that I've ever done before. I mean, not just like the concept was like, of course, quite out there. Right. Not just the concept was like quite out there, but I would also say that it was just the longest set I ever played. Yeah. You know, like 10 hours. So I went in with a lot of expectations. And it was fucking amazing. It was like the highlight of that year's ADE for sure, and like one of the highlights of the year too. I mean, it's funny because like last week I actually played with Bradley Zero, who was like, I would say like the high point of the back-to-backs of last year.
It was my favorite back-to-back of the year.
And like we played like a week or two ago back-to-back again, and it was like a lightning in a bottle again. It was unfucking believable, like for real. So yeah, it was amazing. Like you were there, right?
Yeah. I thought it was one of the best concept events we had in.
It was crazy, like, and the crowd was so down for it too. It was so sexy, like, it was a wonderful, wonderful event. Also, like, I like that just as an event, it was also good. You know, like, even if you ignore all the gimmicks, it was just a good party. You know, like, and that made me very, very happy, because it can sometimes happen with these like gimmicky events, like that it gets a little too like too in its own ass a little bit to be a little bit vulgar, and this was not that. This was a great party with a bit of an out there concept, you know, like. So yeah, that made me very, very happy. I find music by finding it. I never, unless I go to a record store, I never properly like sit down and I'm like, and now I dig for music, you know? It's just like whatever I come across, I think about, could this work in a DJ set? And so that's the way. Yeah, the sorting is a little bit more interesting. Because like that was a very big process in general, not just like for that occasion, but that definitely was my like deadline to have it in a ready state. Was I had this idea for a sorting system of music that you really have to like be able to pilot it, because I think like it's an amalgamation of the sorting systems of several other DJs that I read about, and I tried to make this huge, like I imagine it as like this Gundam or like this like Power Ranger robot that you're like really like in the behind the steering wheel of, because it's basically like 3 systems that all interlock. It works basically in the way that like every song that I have in my library has tags, and these tags go by several different categories. One is the stove, which is just very simple, like it labels the like energy of a track, like what's the point of a party where you play it like energy wise from 1 to 7, like on a stove, you know, so you can like turn up the heat like on a stove basically. And I have a stove, like a dial wheel for like every single like genre that I have. So it's like, I don't know, like tech house, classic house, disco, garage, drum bass, blah blah blah, whatever. So I have this from 1 to 7 for all of them. And I have one for tools, just like very like percussion-y tracks where not a lot happens. And then I have one for like very, very like special moments to break through like monotony. Yeah. That's the simplest part. Then I have stuff like, what size is the room? What kind of an event is it? Then I have another one that's like, what's the main element of the song? Is it like a bass line? Is it a very percussion focused song? Is it a song that's very focused on a vocal? Does it have a big piano, etc.? And then I have one that's kind of like some miscellaneous stuff, like what's the groove of the song like? Is it more of a jacking track? Is it more of a like very straight track? Is it more of a bouncy track? Or some stuff like, is it a track that I would categorize as like a sundown track or a sunrise track? Like stuff like that. So all of these things, the track gets tagged with. So like if anything works to this track, it gets a tag. It always gets a stove, it always gets a room size, it always gets one miscellaneous, and it always gets one main element. And of course just the normal genre. And I had this theory that if you would do this in a very specific way, you could then build smart playlists that would make sense when you interlock all of these things. So in my head, for example, I had this idea of like, okay, could I then make a playlist that basically is, I'm looking for like peak time tracks to play at an open air. I know myself, I know like a peak time track at an electronic open air will probably be like something housey. It will probably be like a 6 or a 7 on the stove.
Yeah.
It will be an open air stage, not a festival stage, but an open air stage, which is like outside and is the size of is like from the room size, and it will be. And it could potentially be like a sundown situation, potentially. But that's not a must. And probably will have maybe like, I tend to play like very like straight groove tracks in this set because I like the pumpiness of it, but that's not a must. But basically that already explains it, you know, like I can then make a smart playlist that I tell these 3 things to, and then it puts every track from my library into this playlist that is then like personalized towards me. So I have like, I think like 400, 500 smart playlists on my USB sticks for every single situation that I could think of that would make these interlocking playlists that would make these playlists like interact between each other. And theoretically, you can think up even more. You know, like I was able to make a sorting system that you can be creative with. You know, that you can experiment with a little bit. You know, like what happens. What tracks would it give me if I like interlock these two, and what would I call that combination? You know what I mean? Like, so it's really like creative, and for me in these moments, it's about like, I think why I'm good at making people like dance and move their bodies is because I myself, like in my ideal, when I play, I just fully like let go. I'm like in the tunnel, I forget everything around me and I just like completely let go. I don't have to think about what the next track is because I already know what kind of a track has to come next. I might not know which one specifically it is, but I know what kind of a track it has to be. And because I then kind of like know this about myself, I was able to prophesize this by making a playlist for this specific moment. So ideally, I will have made a playlist, a smart playlist for this very specific moment. I can then go to it. I have an assortment of songs that is specifically perfect for this very moment that of course, then I know them and like I can look through these and be like, yes, this is the one. I mean, the fuck do I know? I don't know. I mean, I've definitely gotten even better at like being more genre fluid. I'd say my musical horizon has only broadened even more since the last one. I think I've gotten even better at like throwing curveballs. I think I've gotten even more bold. There's definitely one big thing that I know already because like the people had to tell me this, but this is the only fact that I know, and that kind of overthrows the whole thing for me and is genuinely an interesting plot twist. I know that the final set is vinyl only. So that is an interesting twist.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue who it is. I've been speculating.
Yeah, are you speculating?
I mean, I don't want to spoil, and also it's like it's awkward if that it's someone completely different. You know what I mean? But like, I know some vinyl only DJs, and I also know who curated the lineup. You know what I mean? Because it's like my booker who knows me very well, but I also know him very well. But then he's also very good at like throwing curveballs at me.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's going to be interesting to see who it is. But yeah, so that kind of like throws this whole like sorting system shit all out the window. You know what I mean? Because then it's just like wax on wax, like wax on, wax off.